Hello, hello, hello. It is me again, the leveless woman, Maxine Pearl Phillips McCoy, founder and owner of Leveless Business Strategies. Hello, 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 and good evening to you all. Come on in, come on in. Do we have an awesome guest for you this evening? So you need to go on and connect with your friends, your family, your coworkers, a community. Have a watch party. Let me know where you are chiming in from. Put your name in the chat box so I can say hello to you. Let us know what questions you have along the way as I introduce my guest in a moment. But I just want to talk to you. You know, I always like to give you a little tidbit of information about me. Well, maybe about 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Diabetes that is the onset due to stress. Onset due to stress. Did you hear what I said? Onset due to stress. So our lives can be so stressful. I know we're going through a stressful situation now in the world, but there are a lot of individuals who are living with diabetes. They're being diagnosed with diabetes, and some of them have gone undiagnosed with diabetes. Well, back in 2010, I lost my husband to complications due directly to diabetes. In 2008, I found out that I was a type 2 diabetic. Now, here I am, the caretaker, right? The caretaker. I'm on one sofa sick, and my husband is on the other sofa sick. And I'm like, wait a minute, something is wrong with this picture. Sure enough, when I had gone to the doctor, they gave me the verdict. Yes, you are a type 2 diabetic. Now, listen, the next thing they told me was, come on, you guessed it. What do you think they told me? Lose weight. That's right. You need to lose weight. Well, my weight didn't come from me overeating. My weight came from stress because you have those stress hormones that enter into the body and it has havoc. It takes really over the body without you even realizing it. So I started taking the medication, and the medication made me worse. I was going blind. I couldn't see how to drive. I mean, I was sick day in, day out. And I decided to die. Listen, I decided on my own, yes, I did, to tell my doctor, I can't take this medication. So work with me. Work with me in order to get this type 2 diabetes reversed. She wasn't too crazy by hearing that, but I told her, I said, I promise you that if you work with me, I'll get it under control. Well, I went home. I started reading every book. I started going on the internet. I started looking up everything I possibly could about diabetes. The one book that I found that made a difference in my life was about eating for your blood type. I had never heard about that before. I got the book, I started following what it told me to do, and lo and behold, my blood sugars started coming down. Many times we don't realize that we are eating foods that's really harmful to our bodies be based on our blood type. Now, some foods are not good for us based on what? They're just bad. That's right. They're just bad. They're not healthy for us. Like the salt and a lot of sodium, a lot of packaged foods, processed meats, all those things like that are not healthy for us. Well, once I got it under control, then I was able to get it down to a normal reading. And they wanted to be within the 5.5 range, but I got it down to a 6.0 and I was able to maintain it. But I came from a 16.0, which means I should have been in the emergency room. I should have been in a diabetic coma. But a power higher than myself gave me the mindset to change and to make a lifestyle change. And that's what it takes when we're talking about becoming healthy. It's nothing about lifestyle changes. I never talk about diets. Diets does not work for a lot of people. It didn't work for me. But once I started paying attention to my intake of the different type of foods, that I was eating for my body and what worked for me, that's when I was able to take control. So for the last 7 years, I have been off of diabetes medications. Diabetes medications. That's right. Only because I'm able to eat properly. But there are other things about the body that we must take into consideration. We have all these different organs, the different systems. You have your lymphatic system, you have your circulatory system, all of these different systems, they work together, but we have to keep them healthy in order for them to work properly. Well, I have a special guest on here this evening, and she is going to help us to understand portions about the body. She's going to talk to us about breathing techniques, because there is a proper way to breathe. And as a baby, we breathe properly. We breathe from our diaphragm. But as an adult, we start breathing more shallow. And so she's going to help us to understand the best way to breathe. So, my special guest this evening, I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about her before we actually bring her up. Her name is Hillary Gooden. Gooden. And Hillary is a vibrant life coach. She's a expert. She's at we call it the lymph. I'm messing it up, but she'll help me pronounce it properly. She's a speaker. She's an author. And listen, if you are ready to be energized, if you are ready to increase your body and with the energy and gain clarity in the mind, if you are ready to sleep better, have better health, boost your immune system, and with vitality, you're in the right place. But what you must do, though, you need pen and you need paper. Because on this life strategies, what are we known for? We're known for dropping platinum nuggets. That's right. So you need to be ready to take notes. All right. So let's bring our special guest up. Miss Hillary, come on up. Let us see your gorgeous face.
Hello, hello.
There
Hey,
you
hey.
are. There you are. Hello. So glad to have you with us this evening.
I'm glad to be here. And you know what? It was coming up, and I was just getting more and more excited. So I'm glad to be here today, Maxine.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, we need to be able to share some content information with you. And so, why don't you go on and just put in the chat right quickly your social media handle, so that we can run it across the ticker taker, so that everybody be able to see it as you're giving us these great platinum nuggets. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
so
So as Miss Hillary is doing that, she's going to be writing that into our chat box, so that we can make sure that you all are able to connect with her immediately while she's giving us these great nuggets of information. So, Miss Hillary,
yes.
tell us just a little bit more about you. I know I've definitely mispronounced that word. And even though we talked about it, lymphologist, but if you tell us exactly what that is, and what do we need to know about how it is going to affect our bodies.
Yes. And so you know what? Before I heard about it, I tripped over the word too and said, what the world is that? And you know what? I'm gonna just start kind of quick from my beginning. And that is a chronic cough. I had a chronic cough that I still sometimes, it would show up when I least expect it, but now I know things I can do about it. But
Okay.
then I was just, I would go to the doctor, and it was always funny to me when I would go to the doctor. I wouldn't cough not one time while I was at the doctor, so they could see what I was talking about. I said, this body, you keep playing tricks on me. But finally, I just kept wanting to find out what can I do that was natural. And I didn't want to take, anything chemical. And so I just kept going back and forth. And one of the last times that I saw my doctor about this chronic cough, because she sent me to specialists, outside of the network and all kind of things. And I would always be my body just as calm. It would never show up when and I sometimes be sitting there hoping something would happen where it would trigger that cough,
Right.
but it never did. So she finally said, listen, the last time when I saw her, she shocked me. She said, listen, you just going to have to fill this prescription in. She dug down in her pocket and she pulled out her inhaler and take your inhaler like me for the rest of your life. And she dug it back in her pocket and stormed out of the room. And I was sitting there thinking, are we done? And she finished. Oh, and she gave me about three prescriptions, and I left out the woman in the garbage. And I was like, there's got to be something that's natural that I can do. That led me on a quest, and I started, just researching different things and finding out, are there certain foods that I need to eat? Do I need to drink more water? What's going to work? And I found a guy on YouTube who he called himself the Regenerator. Some people might be familiar with him. And he was a raw foodist. So through him, I found out a lot about different foods to eat and smoothies. And that's the other thing that got me. I had a girlfriend that when I was working, a coworker, and she had bought, and I'm not trying to just push it, but she had bought one of those NutriBullets. And so she was so excited every day she would come and tell me her latest concoction that she had put together. And I finally said, I'm going to get one too. And so daily we were telling each other, well, I mixed together this. I found out it's good for this, it's good for that. And she would show me what she had till other people were buying them. And we were just, everybody was just all excited. And so some of those things were kind of helping. But then what I began to realize, like you were talking about stress, is that when I would get in anxious moments, it would trigger that cough. So then I said, oh my goodness, there's more to this cough than the foods that I eat or the water that I drink. It's anxiety. This is a form of anxiety because I could be in a anxious moment and it would trigger that cough, that fight or flight syndrome, where you feel like, and the cough would come, my heart would beat real fast, and all I need, just give me a few seconds and I can catch my breath. But that's the whole point. When people get anxious and they begin to try to catch their breath, they end up going to what's called overbreathing, and that just makes the matter worse, And so once I made that connection, then I said, well, how do you deal with anxiety? What do I need to do?
Right.
Because that's playing a big part here. And so one day, this guy, he had he interviewed a man who had been given up to die. His doctors told him there's nothing else we can do. You need to get your affairs in order. You have about 6 months to live. He went and saw this guy. Then he knew another guy. He said, listen, I want to introduce you to him. This other guy said, listen, I can help you, but you're going to have to follow all my instructions. He said, I have nothing to lose at this point. And the first thing he told him, you need to forgive. Whoever you got ought against, any unforgiveness you got in your heart, you got to let it go. You got to release it. As a pastor, I'm a pastor too. As a pastor, I was going, wow, that makes sense.
Right.
He didn't get right into the lymphatics. He didn't get right into different foods and what he needed. He got into the mindset, the different things, because I have found from other people that I've dealt with and helped that forgiveness was a big key toward their being able to overcome chronic conditions. What do they call them? Autoimmune conditions, right? And so that just fascinated me the more. And I just followed through. Then I followed that guy and tried to find out everything. And then he had somebody that he learned from, and I followed that guy. And that was where I found out all about the lymphatic system. I would come home, I would work hard all day. I was busy on my job because I was the leader. And so it was just busy, busy, busy. I would get home and get to researching and studying again. And some nights I looked up, it was the next day and I hadn't gone to sleep. I was just in the books, in the computer, just, I just couldn't get enough. Because come to find out, one of the best ways, the number one way to work that lymphatic system is bouncing on a mini trampoline. Who knew that?
Mhm.
And I thought, God, you got a real sense of humor here, you know? So your lymphatic system works like the garbage disposal for your all the systems to
Mhm.
remove build up cellular waste that gets built up around your muscles and between your cells. And when that happens, that can cause your cells to be flooded with fluid and blood plasma proteins that get stuck along with toxins and cellular waste. And when the lymphatic system is not like vacuuming out those excesses, it builds up. When it builds up, you have inflammation, you have pain, you have a loss of energy, and you just feel pretty crappy, you know. You and depend on where it is. If it's in the eyes, they call it glaucoma. If it's in the joints, they call it arthritis. Depending on where it is, they got all kind of names for it. I mean, they have. I figured they must have been running out of names. I was listening to the radio on my way to work one morning, and they was talking about the sitting disease. And I just thought you couldn't come up with a
What?
name for that better than sitting disease. And you got a medication when people need to get up and move their bodies.
Wow, Pastor Hillary, you just made me think of
So
something. You said when the inflammation is in the eyes, they call it glaucoma. Listen, audience, I want you to pay
yeah,
close attention to this. What we're hearing right now is about inflammation, and the inflammation is traveling throughout your body, my body, your body, our
yeah,
bodies. And what mean we must get that inflammation under control. That inflammation can have a lot of havoc on the body and can cause so many other different diseases. Glaucoma is just one of them, and that's with the eyes. And you can literally go
yeah,
blind. That pressure
literally.
literally go that pressure gets higher and
Hmm.
higher and higher. I know my
Yeah.
husband just, the husband that I'm married to now has had the glaucoma surgery. And so, they
Mm.
try to do what they can in order to relieve that pressure so you do not go blind. But the other thing that you
Hmm.
just mentioned about, you talked about the eyes, but you also, there was one other thing that you mentioned after the eyes about the
Arthritis in the
arthritis
joints.
in the joints. Many times, let's start looking at our hands or knuckles, then our knees.
Hmm.
And if you see that swelling in the knees or that redness in your knees or in your skin around the
Hmm.
bone, that's where you have that inflammation that's sitting in there. I love what you said. We need to start moving. So, what did you
Yeah, we
do?
don't need another prescription for that.
Those prescriptions are synthetic medication that's going into the body, and the body does not know what to do with synthetic medications.
Yeah,
It can hit a point, but we
yeah,
don't know because it also causes what other illnesses along with it. Remember, they talk about the side
exactly,
effects.
exactly.
The side effects.
You know, yeah. I
Go
heard you
ahead.
talking about stress when you were doing your opening about your story, and 60% of all illnesses in the United States, according to the American Stress Association,
Right.
60% of all illnesses are stress related. Stress related. And so
Yes.
when you get stressed out, you not only stress your mind, it makes you tired. It makes you it can also damage your cells. It can make you sick. When it
Yes.
damages your cells and your cells are not working properly, then you got the cellular waste, your lymph system, when it's not actively moving. Now, the one other thing to know about comparing the lymph system to the blood system, the blood is pumped by the heart. The blood is pumped from the heart back to the heart, just as we're just sitting here talking to each other and
Right.
everybody that's
Right.
listening. The lymph system does not have a pump. You are the pump. So the lymph fluid, guess what? It runs in one direction, upwards. That's why when you bouncing on a mini trampoline, and I don't mean jumping up and down and trying to do tricks and flips and all of that. I'm talking about what we call a gentle bounce,
Mm-hmm.
a health bounce. And in my world, we call it lymphosizing because the focus is on the lymphatic system, and it don't take much to get it going so that lymph fluid can come up through the check valves and cause those the vessels to act as that the vacuum to just like
Right.
suck out wherever there's stagnation, wherever there's a buildup, you know. And
Right.
breathing properly is another part. It's the number two way to help activate your lymphatic system. And I always say, you breathe in anyway, you might as well make it work for you.
I like that. So moving is one, and now we're talking about breathing. So before we
Yeah,
move actually into the breathing portion, give us a little bit more about the moving, because we already know the trampoline is good for you.
yeah.
And
Well,
what other movements would you suggest?
walking, moving your body, walking. You know, if you stand up, you can stand up like in between your favorite show. They have commercials or some kind of breaks. Stand up. You can do jumping jacks if you feel it. If you feel to do
Mhm.
that, you can lift
Like
your
that.
heels up and down. Just lift your
Okay.
heels while you're standing up and down. You can sit on one of those exercise balls and bounce. I mean, you can bounce right here, you know, where you're
Just
sitting.
move. Yeah, just
But
move.
the key is move your body. We have become so sedentary because almost everything we need to do, we can do it sitting down, looking at a computer, hand device, you know. So like when I was working, every hour I would get up and take a walk around my floor. It was almost like a block long. So I would go take a walk and come back. Because you're sitting with your ankles, you know, your feet not elevated, and your systems are not working as properly as they could because they're sitting too long in one spot, you know. So
Right.
movement is key. Walking is always an excellent exercise, you know. Um,
Right.
but just move your body. Get up, put on a record. You got a song you really like. Get up and dance. Have some fun with it, you know?
That's what I was getting ready to say. 'Cause, I love to dance. I mean, because
Hmm.
a lot of times when I'm sitting here doing work, I just start moving and dancing. Like I hear the
Yeah,
music in my head, and I
yeah,
just start moving. It doesn't
exactly.
take much. And now, there's because we do sit so much. They have these the moving desk. That can
Yeah,
go up and down. And I remember
yeah.
when
I
I
used
was
to
a
have
direct
one of
assistant
those at work.
operator, we used to have one that we could go to that we could stand up because
Hmm.
I love to stand up. I'm a rhythm person. I'm a rhythm learner, so I love to move and do things. So that's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Well, listen. Okay, now you all, did y'all write some of those?
One other key thing. I'm sorry, and then I
I was
just
going
need
to
to
ask them
say
if they
this.
wrote some of those platinum nuggets down that you
I
just
know,
suggested.
and I got
Some of
one
those
that's really,
movements.
really
Yeah.
good.
Go ahead.
When that inflammation is there, and you got your cells are separated. They're not in the, kind of close together. They're not supposed to be stuck together, but they're kind of close together and they got fluid running in between them. That's when everything is all healthy and good. And you got oxygen in that space when it's healthy. When it's stagnated and it's full of all this other stuff, it's like it pushed out oxygen and there's no room for it in that state. Oxygen, I know we're not supposed to say something heals, but oxygen is what heals. You know, the blood is carrying oxygen and nutrients throughout the body.
Right.
Oxygen is the secret sauce, you
All
know.
right. All
Yeah.
right. Did you all hear that? Oxygen is the secret sauce.
Yes.
So we need to make sure that our body has good oxygen that's moving through our body and helping our cells. And that's where repair takes place. One
Yes.
of the things that I notice, and yeah, and I know you do too, is that when someone is ill, what do we want to do? Sleep,
And the
rest.
doctor will tell you need to have bed rest.
Yes, because the body needs to have an opportunity to repair itself.
Mhm.
It can repair itself if
Yeah.
we only allow it to repair itself, and help it along the way by eating healthy, moving, and doing the things that you talked about.
Yes.
So as we move into breathing, talk to us a little bit more about the importance of breathing, and then how best to breathe.
Okay. Well, when we breathe, I have found it sometimes kind of comical when I ask people to take a deep breath. And I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath. Take a
Okay.
deep breath right now. We'll take one together on the count of
Okay.
three. One, two, three. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, you look like you took a good deep breath because most people, when I say take a deep breath, they go, So this,
Right,
I,
they do one of these numbers. Yeah. I
and
understand you have to breathe from the diaphragm. Yeah.
yes, yes. And so when you breathe from your chest area, that's a shallow breath. And the what you said, breathe from your diaphragm. But what's happening is that air goes to the deeper part of your lungs. You know, your lung is kind of long, like, and
Right.
when you take a shallow breath, that air goes toward the first top third of the lung. Now, in the lower 2/3 of the lungs is where the rich blood is that will help to filter it in order for, and then that air goes back out to the body, the blood by the blood carrying it. So
Right.
when you take a deeper breath, you're reaching that rich blood. And when you take a shallow breath, you know your body's just trying to keep you alive,
Right.
because, and then the one thing that I found so fascinating, maybe in the last 2 years, I always told people breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. But
Mm-hmm.
then you know what? I read a study from 1860 something. This guy wrote this book, and I would read it, and I would sit still and just take it all in, and I read some more, and it was just so much. It's like my brain have to catch up to absorb it. But the fascinating thing was, okay, I'm gonna just go through this. Our eyes were meant to see, our ears were meant to hear, our mouths, well, they can do a lot of things. They can eat, talk, drink, do a lot of things, sing and
Right.
all like that. But our nose was meant for breathing. So we're supposed to breathe in through our nose and out through our nose. I
Mm.
know that don't sound really deep, but it is. Because there are a lot of people that are mouth breathers that have
Mm.
asthma, sleep apnea, and a host of other respiratory issues because they're mouth breathers, you know. So you have to practice breathing in and out through your nose. For some people, it's like that's hard because the way you breathe during the day is the way you breathe while you sleep. If you're a
Mm.
mouth breather during the day, you're going to be a mouth breather at night. That's the problem. Because when you breathe in the way God intended, He got systems in place. When we breathe in and out through our nose, the air that comes in gets filtered. First, it gets warmed because our body is like 98 degrees or something like that on the inside. So,
Right.
first, the air gets warmed, then it gets filtered. There's a filtering system in there to make sure to come against pathogens in the air and different things. And then the third thing that's so critical is that the body knows how much air is needed for the lungs at any given time. Again, we
Hmm.
can overbreathe when we're breathing in through our mouth.
Wow.
We can take in toxins and stuff when we're breathing in through our mouth that
Right.
don't
I
get
was trying to
filtered.
see if we had any questions or we had any visitors coming in here listening to us. Let me just see.
I was trying to share it earlier.
Yes. So go to the Facebook page if you like to under Maxine.Phillips.96 and it's
Oh,
there.
that's why I can't find it.
Uh-huh. And you can share from there. And you can share from I have another Facebook page called, believe it or not, ourdiabetescoach.com.
Oh,
Yep.
let's see.
So
You said Maxine dot.
Phillips.96. So go to that page and then share it from there to your page. Yes.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yes. So listen, Miss Hillary has just dropped some phenomenal platinum nuggets. First of all, breathe through your nose and inhale as well as exhale. And when you take in a deep breath, you should not see your shoulders going up like this in order to breathe. Instead, the lungs should be expanded. Yes, you're breathing in. She said, go to the deep part of that lung, of your lungs. And then when you exhale, exhale through the nose so that the air is being filtered through the nose as well. So that's definitely a new one for me because I'm so used to when I do the exercise, the breathing exercises, I inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth.
Yeah, we've all been told that, but the name of that book was shut. I think it was called "Shut Your Mouth and Live."
Oh, that's interesting. Very,
But
very interesting book.
yeah, and it's just so amazing that it's little things that we can do. I use the hashtag all the time. Help your body help you.
Oh,
You
love
got the
that.
power to help your body help you live, have better health, so you
Yeah,
can live a more vibrant life. You know,
right.
that's what I promote: vibrant life. We have a more vibrant health, doing the things that you can do, bouncing on a mini trampoline. You don't have a mini trampoline, bounce on the ball, move your body, do something, get some fresh air, you know, breathe. Now, the test that you can do, if you want to do that, we can do that right quick,
Why
especially
don't,
for your listeners and for your replay viewers.
yeah, why don't you go on and just give us a demonstration on number one, the breathing technique, and then
Yeah.
number two, yes, if you have something else you'd like to show, yeah, let's go on and do that.
So, if you want to check if you're breathing properly,
Mm-hmm.
you put one hand on your chest and one hand on your abdomen. Then you take a deep breath, and you don't have to go, just breathe. I just tell people just breathe normally, really. So you want to take a breath in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. One more, breathe in, breathe out. Now, if the hand on your chest moved, you're doing shallow breathing. If the hand on your stomach moved, that's taking a proper breath. And you can
Mm-hmm.
always, for some people, it seems so hard because they've been breathing the way they've been breathing for a long time. And so it takes some
Right.
practice, to change. And one thing, if you're laying down on your back, you'll find that that proper breath takes place, because I'm not sure why. When you're laying on your back, you'll find that anybody will find that their abdomen will move up and down, not their chest.
Right, right, right. So, what if we find ourselves having an anxiety attack? Because sometimes we start breathing so fast, as I say, we feel lightheaded
Hmm.
and like trying to get ourselves under control again. So,
Yeah.
what would you say to that?
One of the things that I do, and I do it this in the morning, because I found that when I would do my breathing on a daily basis, like do it first in the morning, I wake up and I'll do this breathing, and I do it until I feel my body like go into a state of calm. I'm like,
Mm,
okay, so I'm done listening to my body. A lot of people, you got to get in tune and listen to your body. And so one that I really like is you breathe. You're gonna breathe in through your nostril. You're gonna breathe in, hold one nostril down, breathe in through. So we'll hold the left nostril down, breathe in through the right, hold it, then hold that down, and then we're gonna take that breath and breathe out through the left nostril. So it kind of looks like this. You're gonna breathe in, hold, out, in, out, in, out. I don't know if that seems so confusing, but as you do that, you'll find that maybe it's kind of going kind of hard, kind of deep, and then you'll find that you'll get to a place that's like hardly breathing at all, and your body like it's telling you, "I'm cool now. We're good."
yeah, and you start
Yeah.
feeling the heart also calm down. You feel
Yeah.
it
Your
because
whole
sometimes, yeah, because when you're in that anxiety mode, it's like the heart is beating really, really
beating so
fast.
fast.
Right.
One day, I'm gonna tell you, I was having a anxiety attack, and I don't know what triggered it. Probably was traffic. I was in traffic, rush hour traffic, on the way home one night, and that coughing was going, and I was trying to keep my eyes open because it was really bad that particular night. And something just told me to do what I'm getting ready to do, and it's not pretty.
Okay.
It's not pretty, but within 2 seconds, I was at a state of calm, and I was shocked. I got home and started looking up, why did that happen? Why did that happen? It was amazing. But while it was going on, I was breathing in and out through my nose. That's when I started finding about breathing in and out through your nose, actually. But I did this instinctively, just trying to calm down. Okay, here we go. Like this, and I breathe in and out through my nose. I went,
Mm.
Even just now, just doing that real hard, then my body said, okay, that's enough. Just that quick, it calmed down a
Mm.
full-blown cough attack. Sure did.
Wow.
Yeah.
I,
God is good. God is
all
real
the
good.
time, all the time, all the time.
Yes.
He drops into our spirit things that we can do for ourselves. Sometimes
Yes.
we don't always have to pick up the telephone and call the doctor. If you just listen to, like you say, listen to your body, pay attention to your
Yeah.
body. I
Yes.
know when I do the type 2 diabetes coaching and workshops, I always say, know your body better than your doctor.
Yes.
It's okay for your
Absolutely.
doctor to know your body, but you need to know it better than the doctor because the doctor is relying on you to share information with them so they can better
Exactly.
diagnose what's going on with you.
Exactly. I always tell people, don't nobody live in there but you.
That's right. Only one of you. There's only one of you. We have to take care of it too. Have to
Exactly.
take care of it.
Exactly.
And that also. So tell us a little bit more about the lymphatic system. What else should we be knowing about it?
Um, well, it's it's like it's connected to all the other systems in the body. I heard you mentioning that some of the different systems in the body. It's literally connected to helping them run efficiently. So when you work your lymphatic system, start moving, and just if you pay attention, if you'll begin to see that it can make you feel more calm. I had one lady, she told me, she said, Miss Hillary, she said, looks like I'm still in my job that I have, and I still have these clients that are really kind of hard to deal with. She said, but look like I just have a peace, in
Mhm.
dealing with them. I'm not all, just at a dithers at the end of the
Right,
day.
right,
She said, I
right,
can't explain it, but it's like it's the same situation, but it don't make me feel exacerbated, or, you know, uh, I have that calm. And
right.
I was listening to a bodybuilder, and this is a big hunk of a guy, and he found out about bouncing to activate his lymphatic system, and he put some music on, and he bounced, sometimes 10 to 20 minutes, and he said the effects of the bouncing was like more than some cardio routine that he used to do. The effects of it,
Right.
because when you're bouncing on that mini trampoline, at the bottom of the bounce, that impact is you have G force, gravity,
Right.
meeting that. So at the bottom of that bounce, every cell is affected, cause you to have more endurance, have you to have more stamina, have you to have literally more clarity of mind, where you can think clearer, and have more peace of mind, peace in your body. It
Ooh.
also, when I say it helps you to sleep, sometimes if I'm, had a long day or something and I really wanted to go to bed and sleep, I'll bounce a few minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, so that when I go lay down, it's the best sleep. I had one lady, I had a bouncing challenge, and she did that. And we did it early in the morning. I did it early in the morning because I had so many people from Hawaii that wanted to be a part of it. So I changed the time from the evening to the morning. And one of
Right.
the ladies that was from Hawaii, she wrote me back later that day. She said, that bouncing that we did, and we probably bounced about 10 or 15 minutes. I put some music on after the teaching, and we just bounced and had, fun. But she said, I felt the effects of that all the way till I'm just writing to you tonight. I'm just amazed, the energy that I had all day. She said, I know it had to be the bouncer. That's the only thing different that I've done. And so it's just amazing. And they don't teach it that much. I hear more research by our doctors here in America versus over in Europe. Is something that they teach and help their people, because a lot of those countries pay for the medicine, or pay for doctors and stuff for the
Right.
people,
Right.
so
Right.
they want them to be healthy, and they talk about the lymphatic system. But over here, our doctors weren't privy to everything, and they're just now beginning to allow research where they're talking about it and stuff, because we're talking about from your brain, every cell is connected and affected by your lymphatic system.
Well, that
So
that brings me to something that I read about the lymphatic system. It talks about it absorbs fats from the digestive tract as well. And I
Yeah,
didn't realize that because that's
mhm,
you talk about it includes the fluids, and those
mhm,
fluids are in your intestines as well. And in the
yeah,
intestines, that's where you have fats and proteins. And of course, if it's part of that that's been traveling through the body, that means it could easily travel what through the bloodstream as well.
yeah.
So
It affects your digestive system. I mean, sometimes I'm bouncing, and I've had other people say it. I have to get off the bouncer and go take a little trip, to do number two.
every time I go for a walk,
It-
every time I go for
yeah,
a walk, it does that to me as well.
exactly. That's why we need to move our bodies and just be um be aware that your body, God has made our bodies to take care of us and to keep us whole and healthy for a long time. But it cannot happen if we don't help our body. We have to
Right.
do our part. When we do our part, our body gives us benefits of good health and feeling good on the inside, that vitality. And
Yes.
yeah, so
That's I always say that's where the happy dance can come in at.
exactly, the number keeps growing up, but how you feel on the inside, and I
Yeah.
feel young at heart. And I'm grateful for that because I know there are a lot of people that are younger than me that tell me they feel old. And I thought,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. As I age, people say, "Well, you don't look like you're aging." I'm like,
right.
"Yeah, yeah." I said, "I'm closer to 70 than I am to 60." So
Yeah, say
I'm
God
like,
is
"Yeah,
good. God is
no, you
real
don't look
good.
like that." So
Hmm.
what about protecting your body against foreign invaders? How does the lymphatic system help us with that?
Well, again, as you move your body, the lymph system, its whole thing is to remove the excess, the buildup from around your tissues and cells, and it gets it to the lymph nodes. And the lymph nodes have the white blood cells and lymphocytes in there that are there to break down what can be broken down to cause the trapped blood plasma and that fluid from the bloodstream to go back to the bloodstream, and anything else that needs to be eliminated from the body to be eliminated from the body. That's
Mm,
its job, and it does its job uh, efficiently when you help it. You know, I always say, those white blood cells, they fight for you. They go throughout the body looking for something that's not supposed to be there. Not
right.
scared something to be here. You
Invaders. They're
know,
looking for those
they're
invaders.
looking for intruders and invaders. That's their job, you know. And it's just all so amazing that it all works if we do our part.
Yeah.
If you're just going to sit still and just take everything, and I don't tell anybody you should not follow your doctor's orders or take your medicine, but breathing, make it work for you.
Right.
Move your body, go take a walk, do it.
Do it.
Do
Do
it
it.
for you. Do it for your health. Do it to help your body help you.
Right. Right. I'm trying to see if I have any questions out here. Come on, you all. Do you have any questions you'd like to ask
Yeah,
Hillary? She's
yeah,
full of knowledge. She knows about this lymphatic system. She's a lymphatic expert. She's
yes,
wanting to bring that vitality, that clarity to your mind, good sleeping, feeling healthy, feeling fulfilled. Yes, 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 yes.
yes,
So look like I saw we had something running across the screen so that they'd be able to get in touch with you. There's your Facebook and LinkedIn.
yeah,
And also, if I'm not mistaken, I thought we said there was saw a 20-minute
yeah. I put it in
session
the
with you.
yeah. It's in the comments at the top. They can grab that.
All right. We'll make sure that that comes across the screen too. So, what's normally some of the questions that's asked of you when you start speaking about the lymphatic system? I know I've asked you plenty, but what are some of the what's one of the common questions that's asked?
Well, people want to know how did I get started in it. That comes up all the time.
Hmm.
People want to know, well, if I bounce, how long should I bounce? And
Okay.
you don't have to bounce long. You can bounce 3 to 5 minutes at a time. And that's if, sometimes if a person is dealing with really chronic issues, I would tell them just bounce a few seconds, get off. and then get back on maybe 10, 15 minutes to bounce a few seconds. Because if you got that much buildup and that much going on, you don't want to have too much loosed in your system. That's going to make you feel worse. Then you're going to think it's something wrong with it, that it's not working, you know, to have too much toxins running in your body all at the same time.
And
so it
that's
depends
where
on,
so I mean, with you saying that, what came to my mind is that's when you know you need to start drinking tons of water in order to flush it out of the body. Because I know when you go for a massage, they'll tell you that in a minute, because that's exactly what's happening. They're losing a lot of those toxins up in your muscles and into your body, and is now in your body, it's in your bloodstream and all of that. So you need to have a way of getting it out of the body.
Exactly. You got to drink water, stay hydrated. That helps absolutely. And massaging is like the number 3. So for me, as I promote working and activating your lymphatic system, is bouncing, breathing, and then massaging. And the lymphatic massage is not like a deep tissue massage at all. They barely touch you. They barely touch you because the lymph vessels are like right under the skin, you know. So it don't take much to get that lymph fluid moving. You know.
Well, let me interrupt you for a minute. I see Elizabeth McNeil is chiming in. She say, through breast cancer, she said she had 27 lymph nodes removed. She said, do they grow back in time?
You know, I'm not really sure. I know a lot of people that have had lymph nodes removed end up with different types of lymphedema and, you know, issues that seem to take that. I'm not really sure to answer that question, but from what I've seen, it seems that people have a problem for a long time because of them being removed.
And when you say problem, mean
like problem with lymphedema, problem with inflammation and swelling, because the lymph nodes are there to help remove the excess. And when the lymph nodes are removed, that's going to cause a problem in that area, because now you have disrupted the system. You know, you remove, it's like being on the highway and you get there and part of the road is missing. You know?
Oh, right, because that's what the body is accustomed to having. That's part of that's a system that works with all the other systems in the body.
Yeah, it's the way, like when you when they do the massage and they brush toward the heart, because then they come up, you know. And there are quite a few how can I say, you have a lot of lymph nodes in the groin area, like clusters in your stomach. I know people that had stomach cancer and they removed the lymph nodes from there because they say the lymph nodes are swollen. You know, they're swollen because they're full, and the lymph system most likely is not activated enough to get those excesses moving. You know?
So that's why they tell us to exercise.
Yeah. And then, so when they come along and they say, well, how we can combat this is just to remove them since they're swollen. You need them. You know, you need to figure out how to get the swelling, how to get the lymph nodes empty, so to speak. Right. How to get that's what's in there, but that's not what they do. So to answer the question, from what I've seen, I haven't heard that they grow back. In things that I've read and researched about lymph nodes, I haven't read that they grow back.
Okay. All right. I was just trying to see if we had any other questions. Very good, Elizabeth. That was an excellent question. Come on. Does anybody else have a question out there? Come on. Ask us some questions. We have the lymphatic expert here.
Yeah. So you can do, Elizabeth, and I don't know if she probably does it, but different exercises that can help, try to help the inflammation and to help move that inflammation. That's something that can be done. And, if she wanted to talk about it aside from here, we could.
Yeah, and Elizabeth is an awesome cook too, so she's going to be on the show.
Oh wow!
Next month, and she's going to show us some cuisines that she's been doing, and she's definitely a healthy cooker. So it's like I can't
Love
wait
it.
to let her show us some of the things that she's doing to maintain healthiness and her life strategies. So Elizabeth McNeil, we're looking forward to having you on Life Strategies as well.
Love it.
So, Hillary, I know we're coming to a close, but it's been awesome sitting here chatting with you about this lymphatic system. You know, I hear about the lymph nodes all the time. And, you know, yeah, she said, I've been blessed and not had any inflammation. That's what Elizabeth
Amen.
said.
That is a blessing.
Yeah. And she does eat very, 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 very healthy. You
And
know,
she's helping her body.
yes, it's helping her body. One of the things that I learned about the eating, and you know, I told you about I eat for my blood type because I was eating things that my body would not process, and there are certain
Um,
things that I ate that it also caused inflammation, and that's what you don't want. You don't want to
yeah.
eat things that the body is going to automatically put inflammation into the body.
Hmm.
But I also understand that it's important that you keep that pH balance in the body. You keep the body alkaline, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, so one of the things I would do with that is I would make sure that I would have some lemon water or some lime water or something like that. When I say lemon or lime, I'm talking about the actual fruit that you squeeze and put
Yeah,
into the
that's what I'm
water,
drinking
not
right
the
now.
right, not the right. Same here. I have my lemon water. I keep lemon water all the time just to
Yeah.
make sure that. And you can make your own alkaline water. I know many
Hmm.
times you want to go out and purchase alkaline water, but if you put lemon in the water, it does help the body to become alkaline. So
Yeah.
again, there's some things that we can do for ourselves and not
Yeah.
necessarily have to rely on going to the doctor and then getting a prescription for synthetic medication. Now there are times when we do need that synthetic medication. But I'm always come back and say, know your body better than your
Hmm.
doctor, because you need
Yeah.
to know how your body is reacting to any medication that you are taking.
Exactly.
And you also need to understand
Listen.
you need to flush that medication out of the body as well, because you sometimes we can overload the liver, because the
Yeah.
liver is there to filter, you know, all those toxins out of the body as well.
Yes.
Well, good. All right. So what closing words, platinum nuggets you like to leave? Wait a minute. Wait, we got another question. Is there any home remedy that you can take daily to help keep the lymph system clean and not toxic? Home
Mm.
remedy.
Home remedy. You know, I advocate bouncing on that mini trampoline, like taking money to the bank.
All
Like
right.
taking money to the bank. You know, uh, you know, you can look it up on Amazon, find you one. I'm telling you, there are people that are dealing with cancers and other serious illnesses that use bouncing on the mini trampoline to help them in their holistic therapy,
Mm-hmm.
because it really helps. It's the best way to activate your lymphatic system. And 3 to 5 minutes a day, you can do it. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes in the afternoon, 5 minutes in the evening. Find what works for you. But it works so effectively till you know that's what I advocate, that's what I promote, that's what I absolutely believe works for anybody that would try it.
And
And
for
it's
those
easy,
who are
natural, and
able,
drugs free.
right. And those who are able to get on that mini trampoline, but for those who are not able to get on that mini trampoline, um, I love what you said, that if you're the type of person that you're just able to sit in a chair, then sit in a chair and bounce, or bounce to the music, or lift your arms up and do some things like that while you can be in the chair, just so that your
well
body can start moving. So
well
what?
you can get with a lot of the trampolines now. You can get what's called a stabilizing bar. I have one on my trampoline because my mother, she needed it. And it's a bar, something for you to hold on to, you know,
Okay.
so that if you're feeling a little easy, got issues,
Right.
with your balance, and it helps to improve your balance over time. But it's you get a stabilizing bar that helps you have something to hold on to. You can
All
sit
right.
on the mat and bounce. There
Okay.
there are other ways to make that work as well.
All right.
Yeah.
So, okay, now you have some options here. It's not just one way. You know me, I love options. And so now, for those who just, if you got the trampoline that you can do, yes, you have to know and to advocate for yourself. Yes, Elizabeth, that is so, so true.
Thank
And
you, Elizabeth.
you have to document what you are sensing, what you are feeling, what you
Yes.
are observing. So when you go to your doctor, you take that documentation with you so you can have that informed, discussion with your doctor.
Yes.
You're not trying to remember, oh, well, last month, and it could have been last week. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there are times when we don't always remember everything.
That's
But
very
I
true.
always say journal it so that you're ready to then go. When you go to the doctor, you are bringing information in, and you have documented information. So when it happened, what you were doing, what you were feeling, what were the results. I had to
Mm-hmm.
do that when I diagnosed, when really, because I diagnosed that I'm allergic to all preservatives, MSG,
Oh.
nitrates,
Oh
sulfites,
yeah, yeah.
all of that, because I had to keep a food diary, a food journal, in order to know. And when I would take it to my doctor and I would tell them all these different symptoms that I was having, well, they did do an allergy test, but it had nothing to do with me allergic to, any of that. It's just that my body
Okay.
was not, it would not, it was having reaction to the different foods I
Yeah.
was eating. And I need to know what those foods were. And that's when I traced it back to MSG.
Yeah, that's
But and
good.
some people don't have a problem with MSG, but I know I do. And I can even have a problem with sulfites if it's in a room deodorizer and
Mm.
it's just in the room and the fragrance is everywhere. My
Yeah.
body's going to react to it because I am inhaling it.
Yeah.
Elizabeth said,
I
thank you, Hillary. Great
Yes,
information.
thank you so much.
And
I
listen,
had a
go
I had
ahead.
a coworker talking about MSG, and I thought it was, she was just being extra. We all thought she's just being extra. Now every time we order Chinese food, we got to remember no MSG for her. And so somebody went and thought they weren't gonna worry about it. They just brought the food back, and she began eating the food. And I literally, it looked like I was looking at her. Her eyes started swelling. It looked like I could just see her. By the time she got out of there, she was so swollen. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you know your body, it just pays to know your body.
Yeah.
Listen to your body.
Yes. The minute I come in contact with one of those ingredients, I mean, my heart goes crazy, my blood
Wow.
pressure goes up. I mean, immediate reaction to it.
Wow.
It used to take a day or 2 days, a week or something like that, but not anymore. It's
Mm,
immediate because I have not had any like that in my
yeah.
system for over 8 years now.
So danger, danger, danger.
Yes. I should wear something across the head. No MSG.
Do not eat. I love
I
it.
know, I know. So when I go out, it's hard for me to go to a restaurant because I have to do so many questioning. What's in the ingredients, what's in the sauce, da da
Yeah,
da da
yeah,
da. And I usually end up getting a salad or bringing my own
yeah.
salad dressing because I do make my own dressings now.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So it's
That's
just you have
something
to
I've been looking
modify.
into.
You just have to modify when you find things out about yourself. You don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to hide them.
No,
Your family and friends understand. You just let them know, and you can still go on about your business and enjoy life.
that's right.
Yeah. Well, this has been some great, great information. So you tell us, I see it's going across the screen, but you tell us, how can we connect with Hillary? I want to call you doctor.
And not
But
yet.
Hillary, we're getting there. Hey,
Yeah,
claim it,
I
just
know,
claim it.
right?
Pull it down and just claim it.
So for a free 20-minute clarity call, you can connect with me at bit.ly/speak with Hillary. That's a capital S on speak and a capital H on my name. bit.ly/speak with Hillary. And let's see what's happening with you and how can I serve you.
Awesome. Well, we thank you so much for coming on to Life Strategies and sharing some of these platinum nuggets so that we can continue to move forward, succeed on our own, and stay healthy while we are
Yeah,
succeeding.
yes.
So, listen,
Thank you.
we have more great guests that's going to be on every week. And so you need to tune in because you just never know who's going to be here and what platinum nuggets we are going to be dropping. You know, we have a lot of guests that's going to be health related, some that's going to be career coaching, some that's going to be actors, and some that's going to be musicians. You never know what you're going to get on Life Strategies with Maxine Pearl Phillips. So I'm going to bid you a good night.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much, Maxine, for having me on your show. I surely appreciate it. And thank you for all your replay viewers and Miss Elizabeth. And, you know, it was a blast. I love being able to share about the lymphatic system.
Well, we definitely will have to have you back because I know there's more that you can share with us.
Yes.
All right. So until next time, we'll see you later. Have a great evening, everyone.